And hi, I'm Kristin Clark, and you're here with College Planning Untangled, where we help simplify the college planning program or process for families. And our goal is just to make this process as simple as possible for you so that you can stress less and just enjoy, sending your kid off to college and be happy for them. I'm here today with Dale Troy from Crush College Stress. Yeah. We were having some technical difficulties, so I'm all over the place today, but Dale, it's so good to see you again. Love having you on.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to have these conversations with you to help the parents out there.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. For sure, it's the toughest thing in the world when you have a kiddo in college that is stressed out or just having a rough time. And I want to help parents today, especially those ones getting ready to send their kiddo off to college, or the ones that just experienced this with their freshmen. Think about the glory days of college and what we remember versus what it was truly like, which is there's a lot of stress involved, a lot of newness, a lot of, stuff that their kids may not have been prepared for. So I want to talk about the 3 conversations that parents can have to help their kiddos transition to college that would hopefully help streamline some of this stress.
Yeah, great idea, because I mean, what college was like for us is obviously different than what it is now, but some of the same things are still taking place, some of the kind of basics, because it's all about life skills and making a change from living at home to living on a campus without parents. So that stays the same, right?
Yeah, and let's talk about that a little bit, because I talk to parents about this all the time. I know what we remember.
Yeah.
And we remember having an awesome time, having all kinds of great friends, and we forget about the transition stuff that we went through because somehow, and I guess thank the Lord for this, we forget the bad times, right? We forget the struggles. So, one of the things that I remember going off to college is meeting friends. It was interesting because I went to school with kids from kindergarten all the way through high school. So you had that built-in friend group. Now, all of a sudden you're going off to college and you're having to reform friendships. And that's not necessarily natural for us after we've, had the same friends forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, I think that's a huge problem for kids. And actually, I think that's what they worry about the most from the students I've worked with. They're afraid they're not going to make friends. Nobody's going to like them. They're not going to fit in. And if you go in with that attitude, it's going to make it harder. So what I often like to tell the freshmen is that everyone's looking for friends in freshman year. So it's actually the perfect time. And all you need to do, it's simple. All you need to do, be yourself, participate, sign up for things, get involved, be the person who's involved with whatever's going on in the dorm. Don't shut your door and, be behind closed doors, because people aren't going to go find you that way. So it's really about just being a part of whatever is happening on the campus.
Yeah. So the conversation that the parents need to have to prep their kiddos is just that, right? It's like, don't be afraid. Number one, everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah.
Get involved in different activities. I think this is one of the coolest things, Dale, is, high school is all about fitting in. And in college, if you allow yourself, it's all about finding your people and finding people that are interested in the stuff that you like. So, and I know with taking my kids off to college that there are so many clubs and activities and things that they can get involved in that they just kind of have to put themselves out there, right?
Right. No, totally. And another clue is to, before you get to the campus, go on the website, see what activities and clubs you might be interested in. So you kind of have an idea, you have a goal in mind, so that when you go to that big activity fair and it's kind of overwhelming, you know what you're looking for, and you can meet the people that you want to meet.
Yeah, so that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. And also just think about it, really think about, do I want to continue what I've been doing in high school, or maybe I want to explore something new? It's a chance to be different. You don't have to come with the same personality and the same background that you had. You can actually reinvent yourself, which a lot of kids look forward to.
Dale, I've love that you even said that, because all through, 18 years when I was growing up, my name was Chris. And I decided when I went to high school or to college, I was going to change my name to Kristin.
Oh,
And kind of for that same reason. I guess I don't know that I processed it that way, but
yeah.
I was like, yes, I'm now going to be Kristin. And there you go. So a reinvention.
Yeah. Yeah. So it should be an exciting thing. It shouldn't be a scary time. Like, where am I going to find friends? It's going to be, I am going to find friends or find people who I can connect to who enjoy the same things. It's like a great opportunity.
Yeah. And make it exciting,
Yeah.
make it like it's an adventure and something new. Okay. So the second conversation that we wanted to talk about is stress management. So this is, all of this is your deal, your ballywick, but tell us about, how you help kids and families with the stress management of going off to college.
Sure. Well, as we all know, stress and anxiety and depression, all those mental health issues have been rising in high school as well as college. So I think it's very important to have a conversation with your child so that they're aware that first of all, there are campus resources. There are people that you can go to get help, so they don't feel alone. Some kids, when they get stressed, they don't really want to tell their parents. They're embarrassed, so they feel like, why can't I handle this situation? So letting them know that it may be it's relatively normal to feel that kind of stress. Make sure you get help if you feel like you need it. But beyond that, there's some specific tools, I would say, that you can use to reduce stress, but they need to think about what's going to work for them. So I'm going to throw out a bunch of ideas. So it could be learning how to do deep breathing and just being very calm and sitting still and doing some deep breathing. That's a super easy one that most students like. It could be taking a walk out in nature and just being in the moment and observing what's in front of you. And that's also very calming. It could be exercise. Some kids, just all they need to do when they're feeling stressed is, go play basketball or ride a bike or run or whatever it might be. And that will help your body naturally reduce stress. Other kinds of things are using a gratitude journal, listening to some music that makes you feel calm. Maybe you like to do yoga or actually meditate. So there's so many different options, but it would be a great idea to have your child really think about that over the summer so that they know that, oh, wow, if I'm really feeling anxious or stressed, I don't have to get more worked up about it. Like, I know what to do, just so they're aware of how their body's feeling and how to reduce that feeling. So,
and I think you said something early on that really resonated with me. And that was really kind of number one, making it okay by telling them, listen, you are going to be walking into some stressful situations, and letting them know it's normal, because I think that's important too, especially for teens. And then the other thing is you talked about just naming it and just saying, you recognize that, oh, I'm stressed out. So now you can do something about it, So I love those two things, because I'm going to kind of go back to what we said in the beginning of this. As parents, we're talking to these kids about, you're going to have so much fun, and it's going to be the best time of your life, and it's going to be so interesting. And the fact that we don't acknowledge the fact that there's a lot of changes and there is stressful situations, we're not doing them a service. So I think having this conversation around, you will be stressed,
Right.
Yes. And especially these kiddos, as we know, this senior year and junior year, our senior graduates right now, and the year prior, the juniors, they're the ones that have been most affected by COVID and all this stuff. It truly is. We're seeing that, throughout. Sophomores, we're not even sure yet, but they might have a little bit more time to recover before they go off to college. But they are the most stressed generation that we've got. So yeah, I love this naming it and just letting them know it's okay. It's okay to feel stressed and to talk about it and to do something about it. So good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't want them to get worried. You want them to just know that it's okay. I can get help if I need it, and here's what I can do for myself.
Yes, I love it. Okay, third conversation
Mhm.
is time management and just structuring their day to hopefully reduce stress.
Yeah, I mean, I will say if you're not good at time management, that is an immediate stressor. And actually spend a lot of time working on that with kids that I work with one-on-one, because I have found that it's really the key to reducing stress. Because if you feel in control, if you know how to structure your day, if you feel like you're always on top of your schedule and your assignments and your meetings, then you are going to alleviate a lot of stress. So unfortunately, kids in high school they're not really taught how to use the planner or how to really think about structuring their day. It's not, for the most part, it's not that necessary because it's kind of just routine. Everybody kind of does the same thing from class to class, and an activity, go home, do your homework. It's not a big deal. But college, as we all remember, is very different. You have a lot of, quote, free time because the classes don't meet every day and you don't have as many classes. So with that free time, you have to be able to figure out how to use it. And it's not really free time because there's going to be studying, there's going to be cleaning up your room, meals, exercise, clubs, I mean, all sorts of things that you want to do. So you need to, your child needs to be able to put it all together in a way that makes sense, and being, really feeling like they know what they're doing. Because if they don't, they're going to get lost very, very, very quickly.
Yeah, and let's talk about that because, in high school, between the teachers, school, and moms and dads and activities, we kind of keep them within the bumpers
Yeah.
just automatically. So they've got all these people around them managing their time and their day. And now we're throwing them into the wolves and saying, figure it out. You need to figure out how to plan your day. And you're right. We really just don't have not only, I think, the opportunity, but nobody's teaching them how to do this. So, that's an important thing to really talk about and acknowledge.
Yeah. I mean, when I work with kids in the summer, I actually, I teach them how to use a planner. So I would recommend a parent try to do that. Even though they're not going to classes in the summer, they can still be planning out their day, whether, they have a job or they're meeting their friends for something. They can still feel like they're creating a schedule for themselves if they're using a planner. So I think that would be really good practice.
Yeah, and so I love research and studies, and one of the ones that really has always hit home for me is that kids in college that work up to 15 hours a week at a job actually do better. They get better grades, and they just are healthier, overall regarding their stress. So that's one thing for parents to consider too, because I do hear a lot of folks say, oh, I want them to focus on college. And that's not necessarily the best advice. Now, I say that if they're in a sport, to me, that's a job.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If, parents know their kids better than anybody. So if you don't think your kids can handle it, but just know, studies show that up to 15 hours a week, don't have them work over that, because then we see diminishing returns on it. But, I'm a huge believer in kids working and having a job and understanding. So I like to always throw that one in there too.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because, I mean, I'm sure parents know for themselves, if you know you have 10 hours to do something, it could take 10 hours. But if you know you have to be efficient and you got to fit it into a 2-hour time frame, you'll do it. So that's kind of the same thing with if you have a job. So then, that's already a scheduled time, so that everything else has to be a little bit, more condensed.
Yep.
And they also just feel more, it's a way to create a feeling of more responsibility. And the whole academic piece has a lot to do with just taking on the responsibility for yourself, because as you said, the parents aren't going to remind you, the teachers aren't going to remind you about what the assignment is. It's really totally up to you.
Yes. No, I love all of that. And okay, guys, we've just scratched the surface of what Dale helps kiddos manage how they, oh gosh, today my words just are not coming. How Dale helps kids manage stress and help them kind of make that transition from high school to college. And so, Dale, I want you to tell them about your programs and how they can get in touch with you.
Sure. My program is called College Success Formula. It's a one-on-one program with your child. And the whole point of it is to give them the confidence they need to start freshman year really strong and feeling good about themselves and feeling like they know what the habits are and the skills and the tools they need to do well in college. Because I think if you wait and just assume that the college is going to help them get adjusted and learn all of this stuff, it feels too late for many kids. There's too much information. And as we were talking about, they're more focused on making friends. So a lot of the information is going in and out their ears. It's really, really too much. It's just overwhelming for them. So I have seen that in the summer, if you're preparing them and being proactive about it, that they can start, really kind of ahead of the game. Because they already know that the importance of managing time and how to use a planner and all sorts of things that I teach them, like how to deal with roommate issues and how to take care of themselves physically, making sure they get enough sleep, and let's figure out what stress tool you're going to use and what are your goals for the year. I mean, it's a whole bunch of things. So it really covers academics, social life, physical health, and emotional well-being. So it's super comprehensive. And
do you also want to talk about your Facebook page so that they can?
Yeah. So I have a Facebook group for parents of both high school and college students. It's called College Parent Support Community. We can put the link in. And I work with kind of two buckets, either the students who are preparing to go to college or the students who are in college and having some of those challenges because they didn't get the right skills to begin with. So I do work with both, but I encourage people to do it before they get to college so that they don't run into all sorts of issues later.
Awesome. No, thank you for that, Dale. And parents, just when you thought you had them launched and ready to go, we're throwing one more thing on your plate, but important information for you to have and for you to share with your kiddo, and a great way to just bond, I think, as well, before they go off to college. So Dale, thanks so much. And man, where were you when my kiddos, were heading off to college? In fact, I've got one graduating tomorrow. And so I'm done. I'm out of the college game.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Dale.
Yep. Take care.
Bye.